So in this video I'm going to be unboxing the Central Pneumatic 20-pound pressurized abrasive blaster or sandblaster. The item number is 68994. So what comes with the sandblaster is a little KKK hat, or sandblasting hood. And well, I'm going to take out the rest of the contents and let's see what's included. So you get a funnel, your hose, another hose, all the accessories, the blaster itself, the cap for the blaster, the feet for the blaster or for the tank, and of course the operator's manual. I'm going to go ahead and get this thing all together, and then I'll go ahead and show you guys a demonstration. So that was the demonstration for the Essential Pneumatic or Harbor Freight 20-pound abrasive blaster or sandblaster, whatever you want to call this thing. But before I go on with the show, I want to go ahead and put a little warning out there. This is going to be a long video. No offense to anybody, especially my subscribers and regular viewers, but for the assholes out there that like to cry and complain about how minutes of videos take minutes off their life or it's a waste of their life, I would suggest you shut this video down now. Don't even continue. Anyways, on the video you can see that I did have some success cleaning some rusty metal, but it didn't come out like that from the box. I did have to do a lot of tweaking to the tool just to get it blowing pretty good. I had a whole bunch of trial and errors with this. Once the tool is working properly, it's pretty easy to clean material. The difficult thing was trying to get this thing to be a working unit straight out of the box, and well, that's pretty much impossible, because if you follow all the directions on the owner's manual, there's just no way that you're going to get this thing going with success. It was pretty easy to put together. It took maybe about half an hour to 45 minutes just because you have to pretty much seal every thread on this thing, and they give you a really large roll of Teflon tape or thread tape. It's really thick stuff. I was able to put it all together with one roll, and I didn't have no leaks, and that was pretty good. I like that they included a very thick thread tape, so I give them a thumbs up for that. Now when you open the box, they include a very large funnel that fits in there. It's pretty huge. You can cut a 50-pound bag of media and just tip it in there, and I mean it fills up pretty fast. That's a freaking huge funnel. I like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and point out the bad things with the abrasive blaster. First of all, they include this. It's not a dead man valve or anything, but they include this ball valve with all these other adapters and your nozzle. Now the nozzle comes with a small little O-ring. It's not even an O-ring, it's just a little piece of rubber ring there, and it has a taper on it. So when you go to assemble this, this ring is supposed to actually go in there, and then the taper meets to the actual fitting here, and it creates a good seal. There's no way you're going to get good media through the little tiny hole that's included in that rubber piece. So first thing I did was I took that off, and they pretty much just used the nozzle in there, and the nozzle has a taper along with the adapter, so it's fine. It's fine the way it is, and you just install it without the rubber piece, and it works fine just like that. Another thing is the ball valves. The ball valves get a lot of wear. When you're going to use this, you pretty much have to instantly open it or close it. I mean, there's no fine tuning. So when you're going to operate this thing, you just swing that open as fast as you can and close it as fast as you can. But it doesn't matter how fast you open it and close it, it's still going to get damage inside the ball valve, just because when the nozzle goes and gets clogged, it actually clogs everything up a couple inches back, maybe even a foot back. But you have all that media in there, and when you go to close this, because you do need to close it, you don't want to open this at full pressure, you do need to close it, and that's when the media in there rubs on the ball valve and the seal inside, and it tears up the seal pretty much after the first couple of times. So this does need to be replaced. If anything, the best thing to do is just not even use that thing, because you can actually regulate it with one of the ball valves on the back, which opens up the air to this hose. So the ball valve that's located underneath the tank, just like this when it gets damaged. So the best way I found of operating this and the media flow is by actually controlling the air, or actually turning on the air on this valve or ball valve here in the back. You open that, and then you go ahead and you open up your media. That's what helps it regulate how much media flow you get into your actual line and while you're spraying, because if you have it on full, you have a whole influx of media trying to come out of this tiny little, I would say maybe a 30 seconds hole. So another problem I found with the abrasive blaster is that the legs at the bottom, it's kind of like a tripod. There's 3 legs. They're pretty much just stubs welded on there, and then they have a hole drilled through them. So you put the tube on there with a cotter pin, and I'm not talking about a strong cotter pin. I mean, it's so thin, it's cheap, and it's really wobbly. So I mean, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's really wobbly. When you put a whole bunch of media on there and it has a lot of weight, it doesn't make that noise. If for some reason you pick this up a wrong way or put it down the wrong way, you probably will bend one of the legs or shear off one of those cotter pins. Now when it comes to the safety valve on this one, it's set too low. The manual and the box says that it will work from 60 to 125 psi, which is its working pressure. This thing pops off around maybe 110, 115. So there's just no freaking way that I can run that at 125 psi. I could adjust it, but I don't know if that avoids warranty or what, so I'm not even going to mess with that. Another thing, the paint, which is really shiny and it looks quite nice, it started chipping off at the handles, and it's really thin. It's powder coated, so it's really thin in some places. So just operating this with gloves tore the paint off, and eventually I'm sure the whole thing will end up peeling off, and then you'll start getting rust on the tank, and by that time you probably don't want to use it because rust does pit metal. But I guess it's not all bad. The hose is pretty decent. It's not long enough, but it's pretty decent for something this small, and it seems very thick. It's probably got a wall thickness of about a quarter inch, maybe a little bit more. The seal for the media cap here, it's pretty thick, so it's pretty decent. It seals pretty good, and when you assemble this thing the right way, It doesn't have any leaks until you actually use it and tear up the ball valves. But other than that, it's not a bad abrasive blaster. Now when it comes to media, you have to use a very fine media with this thing. I did try using some coarse media, and I was not able to get very good flow. I was able to clean a couple of parts, but the problem is the coarse media, or it was even actually a medium, was just way too coarse. So medium media, or medium abrasive media, is actually too coarse. And the first one that I tried was this Black Diamond. It's from US Minerals. So as you can see, it's a medium grade 20/40. I'm sure that's for the grit. So I used that 20/40 medium and had very, very bad results with that. What I ended up doing was I got one of the nozzles and I bored it out with a diamond bit. I was able to carefully bore it out and get a really nice open channel inside that ceramic nozzle. And I was able to finally blast that coarse media, but the problem was I was going through too much of it too fast. The stuff that works amazing with this blaster that I found was this Black Diamond fine or extra fine media. It comes with a red label. It's the same as the other bag, it's just that this is a fine or extra fine media. So this one is fine 30/60. They have an extra fine, which is 40/80. But this was the only one I was able to find on the shelf. And this stuff was fine enough to go through all the nozzles that were included with the kit. So if you're going to pick up some abrasive media, I would suggest buying Black Diamond blasting abrasive. $7.99, 50 pounds, not a bad deal at all. And it's cheaper than what you're going to find at Harbor Freight, that's for sure. If you want the Black Diamond media, I would suggest going to Tractor Supply. I was able to clean 1,152 square inches, or 8 square feet. So that was my video on the 20-pound abrasive blaster from Harbor Freight or Central Pneumatic. And like always, I want to thank you guys for watching my videos, and see you guys on the next one.